Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Thirsty Thursday, where you're just thirsting for as much shrimp information you can get. And Detroit Shrimp and Aquatics is going to try to bring it to you. So today, we are going to do maintenance on the blue sapphire tank. As you guys all know, well, as I speak about, I should say, when I do my tanks and start and put new shrimp in them, I just throw a jumble of stuff in there. So, beneficial bacteria can grow on it. They have places to hide. They're comfortable. They're not scared. And this is one of those tanks. Well, if you watched my yellow Neocaridina tank video, it also, I have to do in here the same as I did in there, and that's with the plants that are in here. I have to cut them back due to the fact that they've overpopulated the tank, and there's the runners. It just goes plant to plant to plant to plant. They're not separated, so every single plant is connected. But so these tanks are acrylic tanks out of a pet store. I have 4 of them. They're sea clear, aquatic sea clear. I actually went to a garage sale where a guy bought a whole pet store. They sold their fish department in the store, and they wanted to sell all the tanks, and him and his son bought them. And see, watch this. See, I can just lift these up, lift them right out of here, and they'll just come right out. Yeah, I'm gonna gravel vac this too, so show you guys how to do that, how I do that, anyways. But so I went to the garage sale. Well, actually, I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and I messaged him. And he said, yes, I do have them, and you can come and get them. So I drove quite a ways. It was probably, 40 minutes. We all loaded up in the car and decided to go do some garage sailing. And when we got there, you had the tanks everywhere, but they're outside. So these tanks aren't, like real expensive or anything like that. They're just, some tanks that hold water, and were cheap. I think I got the 4 of them. They're 25 gallons a piece, I believe. For the 4 of them, I paid $70, and I thought that was a good deal because they are acrylic, so they are somewhat expensive. Even though they're not new, they're used, and they have their fair share of scratches on them, and then stress-related stuff from them being outside. I still didn't care because, they're bigger than a 10-gallon, and I thought they were kind of cool. So I figured, what the heck, might as well get them, try them out. So as you see here, I got this at a pet store. I'm kind of a car guy, so when I saw it, I kind of had to have it. Put a smashed up car in one of the little towns that I make in a tank. It looks super cool, and I thought with all the beneficial bacteria that'll grow on it, they can eat off of it. It's really smooth. They can go inside of it, to get buried, to have their babies. Then this is a real funky moss. I had this in another tank. I actually think it was sent to me when I bought the shrimp as something for them to hold on to. I don't know if people do what I do, but I put it in my tanks, and I just throw it in there and to see if it'll grow, to see actually what it turns out to be, and if it's worth keeping. This stuff It feels like a, it's got the texture of like, I don't know, bristly, I don't know, maybe hair of some sort, like I don't want to say a dog hair, but, just a real bristly hair. So it's not soft, but they seem to like it. They're all over it. So, all right, well, I clipped all the runners through here. I'm going to keep these plants back here. I like where they're at. I like them a lot. So let me turn you over this way. And hopefully that's cool. I have you on this little tripod, so I'm not used to the tripod. Alright, so the little one there. See, now here's another moss that I have in other tanks. Stuff that I like, but I thought that I'd grow this on one side, grow the other moss on the other side, so I'd have the two kinds. Okay, now this here, let me clip some of these, or just start pulling them out, see where they go. Look, it grows under. So we'll do this first. This thing here, this is for plecos, caves that I make. I cut real slate on my tile saw, and I use the fish tank silicone. Sorry, fish tank silicone to put them together. But I had this in here because when I got them, I want them to. Yeah, look, there's buried mamas in there. Look at that. Can you see that? They like being in here. So, well, I was going to get rid of that, so why don't we just leave that in here? I don't want to take away, something that they like. But look, this piece is growing underneath this thing. Look, it was growing underneath it. It's like blonde because it has no light going to it. So we'll just deal with the plants for today. So yeah, we just pull this all the way up and around. Hope you guys can see us. Now, when you get so far, if you get to a point to where you don't want to pull the plants out, because like the backdrop there, I want the plant still to be across the back, I can just cut all these runners. And then just, like, this is the only one that came up. Stick it back in there, backfill the gravel. Let me scoot this over real quick. See, and you can just clip these. Excuse me. You don't have to pull all the plants out if you want to keep the backdrop where it is, because, I clip it just so the plants grow up instead of keep growing across. It's cool to get more plants, but I really don't need it, Now, believe me, I make a lot of money off of them taking them to the pet store because, they know they're real healthy plants. They're getting them out of a hobbyist tank. They come in super healthy. They're not melted or melting. So they like the idea of getting really healthy plants from hobbyists. Now, like I've said a million times, I do not fertilize my tanks. So many people do. I guess people think that you have to fertilize it because maybe they probably vacuum their tanks out way too much and don't let enough of the natural stuff inhibit with live within their substrate. So they vacuum so much that, you know what, I'm taking this one out, it's ugly. They vacuum so much everything dies, so they have to put chemicals in it. Now, I'm not saying it's the best looking thing to let it get in your substrate, but if you guys can see my shrimp, they're not even afraid of me. One thing with this sponge filter I do not like, a lot of them they have this big huge separation at the bottom. See, it's like you know, I don't know, I guess they want it to be taller. I kind of want to pull this back, the hose, and get this gunk off the line, but I want to put the filter in the middle instead of having it out where I had it. And I was thinking, if I bury this down into the gravel, I mean, I'm probably gonna wish later I didn't, but whatever. Leave it right there. Plants grow around it. Let me pull this one out too. I don't like this one here. It's kind of ugly. Boo, 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 boo. Do, do, do. And it's so funny watching, you know, you got to make sure there's no shrimp underneath it. You don't want to squish them. Do not want to squish a shrimp. Now, a cool thing you could do is actually like lift this thing up, have it up in the air to where they could crawl underneath it. I mean, that'd be pretty neat. You know, there's, I don't know, just a bazillion things that you can do, but I try not to get too in depth on scaping my tanks until they get to a certain maturity, due to the fact that you know, I don't want to be cutting back certain stuff, or you know, not putting in certain stuff. You know, if I got to make it real bulky and ugly to make them feel that, you know, make them feel safe and you know, not have an issue with getting buried and stuff like that, then I'll just put a ton of stuff in, and I don't care how it looks. If my shrimp like it, and you know, they benefit from it and they start having tons of babies, then whatever, it is what it is. So for one, let me scoot this up here, and then let me scoot this one back here. So what we're going to do is we're going to vacuum this out a little bit really quick, suck some crap out of here, because as you guys that follow me should know, I'm changing up the ways that I feed my tank. So all the garbage that's in them, all the crap that's in them, I'm trying to vacuum out probably 60% of it, leave the rest in the tank, and then you know, change how I feed them so it benefits them. So every time I do this to a tank and clean it out and adjust it like this, I could pull out, probably what I pulled out is probably, I don't know, $10 to $15 worth of plants. So if you take it up to the store, you know, I get cash or credit. You know, I mean, usually a couple dollars like that I'll just do in credit. Come on, everybody get out of the way. Come on. Come on, you guys. So what I do is I control it at the other end here. Keep my finger on the end of the hose. Get it going. And here's the thing is, I'm not trying to make it perfect. I just wanna better the health of the tank due to my bad shrimp fathering and overfeeding like I was, you know. Whether, you know, they did super well or not, I don't particularly like that. You know, my tanks are all jacked up from overfeeding. So come on, get out of the way, guys. Come on, get out of the tube. No playing right now. Playground's not open. Come on, little guy. Oh, he's a little one. Come on. Come on, where's your dad? Go listen to your mother. Where's your mother? Didn't she tell you don't play in tubes? Right, looks like we're clear. Alright, so kick it back on. And here's another thing: if something went up the tube, I have them in a white bucket. I can dump everything out into a net. Sift through it. Dump the stuff into a net, get them, put them right back in the tank. I've done it a bazillion times. I don't I don't like to lose one shrimp, even if it's a call. I'm not big on losing shrimp. It's hard enough selling my shrimp, but I know I have to. But let alone, oh, there's one guy. Get out, get out. All right. Let alone losing them up the tube. All right, get out. I don't like doing any of that stuff. So, I mean, but the little bit, that you clean up, I mean, it fills a 5-gallon bucket up quickly, very quickly. But, this will cut back on your snails too. So, you clean a tank, get a lot of this gunk out of here. I'm sorry, you guys can't even see this because I'm not even doing it over there. But, you clean a lot of this gunk out of here, your snails will disappear due to the fact that, you're getting rid of all their food. And so, yeah, so that's about it right there. That's in your 5 gallon. Just a little shy. And my thing is I don't, my water changes are, so few, so little. I don't change much water, because I try to, like I said, leave them alone. Try to keep their water moving. Try to keep it very healthy. And I don't try to mess with it too much. Okay, now they're all coming out. I'll slide you over. And you can watch them come out. I'm going to go dump this bucket. Get me some fresh water. And I'll be right back. Please stay tuned on Thirsty Thursday for shrimp information. Alright, so you see all the now these blue sapphires, they call them blue diamond sapphire, and you guys can buy them from me, or I mean if you're interested, or to let you know who I get them from, I got them originally from Robbie Chan. Robbie Chan's an importer, and at times I find stuff that he has that I like, and I'll ask him to, and they don't, no one really likes to do it, especially someone who does large volume, but I ask him to hand pick my shrimp for me. Not that any of his shrimp are bad, but as a guy who breeds them, I want to bring everybody the as close to the highest quality as I can. But I mean, it all comes down to, you have to call the tank. This tank's never been called yet, and I've never sold anything out of it. Due to the fact that I, wanted to get them going, get them to start breeding before I actually shocked them and, start picking at them, going, okay, well, you're good, you're no good, you're no good. It's kind of like that song, you're no good, you're no good. I won't sing, don't worry. Baby, you're no good. So, another thing we could do, let me stop this for a second. I forgot. I like to, these guys are on tap water, okay, and I usually don't alter the tap water. My tap water, my tap water has been coming out real low. So, it's tap water, so it'll have KH in it. So I don't want to add any more tap water because I don't want to add any more KH, but I would like to add a little more GH to get my TDS up, because the tank is 177 TDS. They say, what is it, 180 to 220. Some people say. Other people say 200 to 280. And it's like, okay, well, I try to keep my tap so I don't really have to alter the water. But, I want to make it as decent as possible so when it comes time for them to molt, there's no complications, and they slip out of their old birthday suit, put on their new birthday suit, they're good to go. So there's, nothing there that stops that. And at times you just have to, watch it, because if you're topping your tanks off and not checking your TDS, you could be dropping the TDS way down, because you're just doing top offs. Okay. So the bucket's 180, the tank is 177. Yeah, 176, 177. So it's 3 TDS difference. Like I said, at times I like to add a little, spruce it up, because to be honest, what really is in the, gosh darn it, can you get this lid to go on good? Oh yeah, and I use the salty bee shrimp, I put the GH Plus in this. But it's like, what really comes in tap water to go, oh yeah, well it has really good salts in it, or I don't need to add anything for this reason. Well, yeah, you don't, but, you know, adding quality salts instead of just hoping that the city's putting the right quantity and quality of stuff in there, you know, it's not always the best thing to do, you know, so you can always add a little more so they thrive. I'm not wanting to push it in, like I said, I'm not wanting to push it into the 200s or even go past 180 because my tap water is so low, it's like 102. So I put some in here to get it up around 180, but I don't want to be adding too much, so I have to put so much in it, you know, all the time just to make it beneficial for the shrimp. I want them to get used to my tap water and they live on my tap water. So, but like I said, I throw a little extra in here just to make them feel good. Now, the way this light is, I'm sorry, but you know, these are blue sapphires and they look black. I don't know. I have an issue with these tanks. They're totally fine, but they show shrimp horribly. They're terrible. So let me see if I can adjust this little crappy tripod that my son got me at. Where do we get this at? Dave and Buster's. I'm not sponsored by Dave and Buster's, but he won a bunch of tickets, and when he went to go buy toys, he got Dad a tripod to hold his phone while he's doing YouTube videos. Yeah, well, maybe once we fill this up and get the bucket out of the way, I can get a little better picture. I mean, we can get this better. I might have to take the phone out of this stand and put it on something right in front of the tank. As I look in here, I do see a couple that I can call. They're on the lighter side. But other than that, it's... Now, these are sapphires. So, in my opinion, a sapphire should look like a sapphire gem. You know, I always try to get, you know, a lot of my shrimp to look gemmy. They look like gems, like a real gem. If there is, you know, you have an orange gem, you know, let's say on a ring, you want it to look just like that. So you have to do everything in your power to make sure that your shrimp aren't going one way or the other, you know, getting too dark or too light, you know, and they stay within the parameters that you're trying to accomplish. These are super pretty. They look just really nice sapphire blue. If you could actually see the colors that I see, you know, but this is a phone. It's a Note 9, Samsung Note 9, so it's not junk. It's just with these lights. I even switched the light for this video. Put my Fluval 2. I think it's a 2.0 or it's a 3.0. I don't know. All I know is they cost way too much. And I took off the saltwater light because I thought this one would be better, and it actually is way brighter, but I don't know if it's the brightness that stops the quality of the picture. Plus, they're on white gravel. Here, I've talked about that before. I put my shrimp on white gravel so it'll show a real crappy shrimp and how bad the color is, you know, if it's clear or it has those heavy black lines on it and it just looks terrible, then I can call it out. But to present them and say, oh, look how, like here, there's getting ready to one to come in front of the camera right now that needs to be pulled out. He's kind of clear. See if we can see it any second. Right there at the bottom. Yeah, see how he's clear and you can see the lines through him. So that's what I'm talking about, you know. But other than that, I mean, they're good. I mean, you know, I think over here they got a Got a big mama over here chilling like a villain. Big fat mama over here. Got a ton of berries under her. And these shrimp do really well. They breed really well. They eat really well. The one in the back that's walking to the left right now, that's so blue it has a back stripe going up its back. It's not white, but it's like a sky blue. Just, I mean, they're incredible shrimp. They look really, really nice. But some are, dark. Let me see if I can feed them. Put a little piece of food in there. I'll just drop some bug bites in here. Because you guys that know me, I'll buy expensive food all day if it works. But I'm sorry. I'm not sponsored by nobody. Don't nobody pay me to say, oh, this food's really good. Tropical Color Granules works. It just does. And so do bug bites. So if I crush it, drop it down in here, drop a couple bigger pieces, you'll see them come down. Boop. See, there's one there. Here comes some more raining down. So let's see how fast these guys get in here. You guys know I feed every other day. So I'm going to actually feed. Yeah, oh, look, they're swimming in they're coming from a foot away. They see it. So maybe it'll get real packed in here real quick or something. There we go. Oh, sorry, that was a little blurry. Now it's clear. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to leave you guys blurry and hanging. Okay, let's put a little extra in it. So this is just 2 little pinches, and this is bug bites. This is for cichlids. Tropical formula for medium to large fish. But it's insect larvae and salmon recipe fish food. It's with processed insects. High protein diet. Why would I not try to feed this to my shrimp? Dead bugs. I mean, it sounds exactly what something that lives on the bottom of a small little stream would actually want to eat. Wow. See, now I don't know. It looks like, but see, that's what I'm saying with the terrible light. The big females that are pregnant, they're dark. They're big and dark. The amount of shrimp in here, gosh, I started with 20. I don't know, 100 and something maybe. I don't know. I mean, right in front of you, if I count real fast, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 37 in that vicinity here. I'm counting, and then some around right within the picture, and then a couple up in the plants. Ooh, look at that blue one. See, it goes up. You can see the blue. Look at the legs. The legs are even blue. That's what I like. They're not a clear leg. They're not a crappy quality. These are. These are really good quality. The blue dreams are a certain color. The blue diamonds are a certain color. My blue carbon realies are a certain color. What else I got that's blue? I think that's it. Blue diamonds, blue dreams, blue realies, and then blue sapphires. So, they all have their distinctive color. But yeah, if they come through the light at the right angle, oh, it's good to go. This one, let me see if I can get you up here. This has like a golden back, like the orange-eyed blue tigers. Look at that one. If you can see it, let me see if I can. See if I can tweak that in some. See what I'm saying? Oops, slipped. I don't have my gimbal. My gimbal's on the floor, so let me see if I can do this better. Yeah, it's the plants. You gotta get that right angle to where it's not looking at the plant so much. But you guys get the gist of it. Yeah, it has like a rusty back. It's super cool looking. And then the front of this glass is dirty, so it's got water drops on it, so it's trying to focus on that. Anyways, you know, it's just high quality in this tank. Oh yeah, so if we scan back, if I bring the phone back here and show you this, I mean, look how many's in there. They come over here, then they're, you know, over there, all in there. They're inside of there, all on there. Look, what's this? They're all jammed in there. There's probably 15, 20 of them jammed right there where the food went down into the plant. You know, just floated down in there. But man, I can't believe that. Those are such terrible pictures. Yeah, let's see what we can get down here. See if we can get you a better turn the camera a little bit. You can see a little blue better, but trust me, they are very nice sapphire shrimp. They sell, you know, some people, well, I don't know. I've seen them for $6. I'll sell them for $5. You know, to me, they're really high quality. I don't really know anybody that sells them. So, as far as I know, that's just as far as I know. I'm not saying nothing, but as far as I know, I'm like the only one that sells them. At least in Michigan. You know, I don't go on all the forums and stuff and see who's selling what. I do every once in a while, but you know, the ones that I really look at are like Dan Aquatics, you know, the guys that really get their stuff together. So anyway, since we're so close now, we can pull out, I don't know, we can more or less leave all that crap floating. They'll like it. Let me pull this back up front and then lay it down. See, that's another thing, you know, you gotta watch out. You know, we got all this stuff floating from plants and this and that. You know, it rots. It'll change your TDS. You know, it takes time. You know, it's not like it kills anything, you know, but, you know, you just got to stay on top of what you're doing, what your numbers are, how far apart your water changes are. See, I'm trying to get this thing to lay flat. It's shaped like, you know, a vertical wall. So I want it to lay flat so it covers more ground. And then come over here and bring this one down. And see, now the way I feed now, I don't even use the feeding trays. Because in my opinion, they're, like I said, it's, when you use a feeding tray, the big shrimp that are in there will go to it, and they'll fight and shove everybody out of the way, especially the little ones, to get what they want, you know, and eat first, and then the little ones suffer And then like the issue I was having was my little ones. Well, actually, I was having a bunch of little ones instead of them all being the same size. All my shrimp being the same size, they're suffering. And that's what I didn't like. So I changed the way I feed. So now, when it's time for everybody to eat, see, everyone's eating because it's spread out everywhere. Let me see if I can get a little different angle. There we go, tilt it down some. But yeah, so see, instead of it being a big clump and there being 60 shrimp on one large clump, now I have, all these shrimp spread out in like a 5x5 square. And they're all relaxing and eating at their own pace, and they're not having to eat it, swim away with it, getting beat up, anything like that. They're, excuse me, they're able to relax and enjoy their meal and eat as much of it as they want, and then swim off and, go do whatever else they were doing before it was snack time. So I'm noticing a more positive, harmonious outcome doing it this way. The shrimp seem, they don't seem as agitated, even though they're not, they're not like as aggressive as a tiger shrimp. But I just don't see why feeding them and just a ball of food is a better way to feed them. Because, if you watch videos, Chris Lukop just posted a video online. It shows them in their original habitat, and they're just crawling around the creeks and the bottoms and all the stones and stuff, just foraging. Well, there's not just a clump of food right in the middle, and they're all fighting. They're foraging around and they're picking around. So if I spread the food out, then it's more natural than them, having to knock people out just to get, a mouthful of food. All right, if you see that one coming into the middle, the mother shoving people out, she's got a big back stripe on her. Blue with a really nice back stripe. Her back line. See, she comes through, get out of my way. She's looking for food, but that's what I'm saying is they come through, shove them out of the way, and they take the stuff. Well, if it's spread out, then those shrimp just don't sit there and go, well, okay, now I have no food, and they swim off and they go sit somewhere and forage and look for food, and they're not eating as much as everyone else, and they stay small for longer, and there's a possibility it stunts the growth of the shrimp, so then it's a smaller shrimp. And, that's probably where the word shrimp comes from. With us, anyways. You're kind of shrimpy. So, but, this tank's always done well due to the fact that, I gave it a lot of stuff. All these plants were out of different tanks, so they already had bacteria on them. So when I put them in here, they were good. Put a bunch of stuff from the hide. The car that's in there, they hide. Everything's good to go. It had a plastic filter in it with the little plastic canister filters, the bubbler ones. It wasn't a sponge. It was the one with plastic, and you fill it with the fiber fill. Well, that's in my green jade tank. It wasn't here, but I got a sponge filter for this tank because there's so many shrimp now. I put the sponge filter in here and I turn that thing up on to turbo, and they just love it. Keeps the tank clean, but I wanted to do this maintenance on it and vacuum out the bottom a little bit. Now, shoot, 70% of the snails will die off, and they'll just sit here and pick and keep the tank clean, and I feed it every other day. I might even skip a day. Yesterday I went, gave them some extra. I went through and, yesterday was supposed to be the off day, but I figured I'd just feed them protein. So I went through, brought down the blood worms, fed my my big tank over here, my wife's fish, and then I cut it up with a razor blade. I cut up a bunch of the cubes into little AB pieces, and I just went around and flicked chunks of blood worms in the tank, so you got this big, huge protein meal. Which, just, it's really good for them. I mean, when you feed them, even cheaper food, I mean, it all has some sort of protein, in it. Now, I mean, buying expensive food, is it worth it? I bought real expensive food, I bought real cheap food, and I bought expensive food to where they wouldn't even touch it. Out of 33 tanks, maybe 5 tanks would touch it. And this is, really big brand name stuff, and it's like, if you don't raise the shrimp on the food and you throw the food in there and they don't eat the food, then that tells me that whatever's in it doesn't attract them to want to eat it. But if I could buy something like bug bites, throw it in there, and they go crazy and attack it, that's worth $1 million to me. Because now I'm feeding them something that's, bug guts and all this and that, and it's it's really what does them really good. So yeah, that's that and tetratropical color granules, they like that a lot. They eat that. And like they say, you could see it, and it's orange, and it's easier to see how much they're eating and how much they're not eating, if they're finishing it, stuff like that. So that's not a bad food also. But the bug bites, it just seems like every tank likes it. Every single tank likes it. It's just, it's a positive for me, because how much is it for that big bag? Let me look. It is, I paid $10.99 for it. It's 4.4 ounces. It's almost 4.5 ounces for $11. And this big bag lasts me a long time. So for $11 compared to, I'm not going to say names, but, $20 for a jug of food that 80% of my shrimp don't like. I still have food that I try to feed that my shrimp don't like, but what are you going to do? You got a bunch of it, I'm not going to throw it away, so I just feed it to the tanks that like it, and burn it up that way. But hold on, let me go throw these little pieces of plant matter away, and I will be right back. Uno momento. So okay, so to cut this video down so I don't make you bored, the plants in here are jungle val. The shrimp are blue diamond sapphires. All right, the water's all done. So blue diamond sapphires. They are for sale, of course. $5 plus shipping. And if you order the blue diamonds, it's I can do $10 unless you're like in California. I just did a shipment there on Monday. Cost me almost $15. So that's the bad thing is, you know, people want shrimp and the shipping kills them. But if you order them from me, instead of charging you $6 plus shipping, I'll charge you $5 plus $10 shipping. So it helps everybody in the long run. Let me see, get this light all the way up to the front. See if you can tell. Look at it, I got a light banging on them like that. It doesn't change the light in the phone at all. It's the phone, man, I'm telling you. The phone just won't change to give you the phone won't change to give you the right perspective of the shrimp. Okay, well, we're at 52 minutes, so we have a moss here. I do not know what it is, so if anyone knows, could you please leave it in the comments below. This is, I believe, hooker moss. I was always told. That's my favorite. That's why I have it in all my tanks. That piece I just put in there, so it'll probably get going in the next couple weeks. That's a pleco cave that I made. A sponge filter that we just got going in here not too long ago. A little smashed up car we got in there for the shrimp to go inside. And then, gosh, I can't remember. I used to know the name of this plant, like you wouldn't believe it. I can't remember it right now. So if you know, Rotalia? Is it Rotalia? I think so. Anyways, okay, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I don't want to keep you. So, thanks for tuning in and watch this maintenance video. And I'll have another one here coming up. I have a lot of tanks that I like to do maintenance on, so stay tuned, and hope to see you on the next one. All right, thanks everybody. Happy Thursday for shrimp information. I hope I answered some questions, but if you have any more, please send me a question. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. And if I don't have the answer, I will get you the answer. How about that? Look at all these mamas. Jeez, oh Pete. Oh, is that one down there that the phone's actually letting me get? No, there was a spot, but okay, sorry about the quality of the video, but the lights are toning down. So okay, see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Detroit Shrimp and Aquatics. See ya.